Hari Om, ma'am.
Hari Om, ma'am. Hari Om.
Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, Xavier, sir, good evening.
Ma'am, good evening.
Srikanth, sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, you can start with me, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Martin, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, good evening. Jayabadi, are you ready, ma'am?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, you can start, ma'am. Jayabadi.
Yes, sir. Hari Om. Good evening. It is my distinct pleasure to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you to the fifth and final day of the 5-day faculty development program, covering a diverse array of topics aimed at enriching our understanding and honing our skills in various academic domains. Throughout this FDP, we have been fortunate to have renowned experts and scholars grace us with their presence, sharing their knowledge and insights to empower us in our academic endeavors. Today marks the zenith of this enriching journey, and we are privileged to have with us Dr. Xavier Mahimai, an eminent personality in the field of education, serving as the Associate Professor and Head of the PG and Research Department of Commerce at Loyola College, Chennai. Dr. Raj comes to us with a wealth of experience and expertise, and we are truly honored that he has chosen to share his knowledge with us on this final day of the FDP. The topic for today's session is of utmost importance, enhancing knowledge on program outcome and course outcomes. In the dynamic landscape of education, understanding and aligning with program and course outcomes are crucial for ensuring the holistic development of our students and the effectiveness of our academic programs. Dr. Xavier Mahimai extensive background and contribution to the field make him the perfect guide for today's exploration into this vital aspect of education. As we delve into the intricate details of program and course outcomes, let us actively engage with Dr. Raj, seek clarification, and share our own experiences. This is an opportunity for collaborating learning and a platform to foster meaningful discussions that will undoubtedly contribute to the enhancement to our educational practices. Once again, I extend a hearty welcome to Dr. Xavier Mahimai and express my gratitude to all of you for your enthusiastic participation throughout this FDP. May today's session be enlightening and inspiring as we collectively strive towards excellence in education. Thank you. Now, I call Mr. Martin Prasad, Assistant Professor of Bank Management, to introduce our speaker, Dr. Xavier Mahimai.
Good evening, Jayabadi. I'm very happy to introduce today's speaker. I'm happy to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Xavier Mahimai, sir. It's my privilege to welcome our participants and our eminent speaker, Dr. Xavier Mahimai, for today's FDP on enhanced knowledge on program outcomes and course outcome. Sir is a renowned academician with over 27 years of dedicated service at Loyola College, Autonomous. He is a Senate member of University of Madras. One of his notable achievement is UGC-sponsored minor projects steered on the theme microfinance during the period 2008 to 2010, heralding his dedication to impactful research. Sir has presented many papers at both national and international conferences, and additionally, his research findings have been published in 24 leading journals, attesting to the depth of his scholarly contribution. Beyond research and conferences, Dr. Mahimai sir has actively engaged with academic institutions, serving as a resource person on various themes such as entrepreneurship, research methodology, autonomy, curriculum development, outcome-based education, quality practice in higher education, accreditation and ranking, NIRF, and evaluative mechanism of IQAC. His outreach extends to addressing 3 universities and 36 colleges, showcasing his commitment to knowledge propagation and capacity building. Dr. Mahimai has also made substantial contribution to curriculum development, having developed study materials on marketing management for Coimbatore University, Karnataka, and on entrepreneurship for the Rajiv Gandhi National Institution of Youth Development. His expertise extends of serving as research supervisor for commerce PhD candidates at University of Madras. In terms of recognition, Dr. Mahimai received the Innovative Teachers Award in 2003 from IndianProfessor.com. More recently, he was honored as one of the top 50 coordinators of IQAC across India in 2009, attesting to his leadership. Dr. A. Xavier stands as explicit figure as academic monarchy, combining a rich history of research contribution, administrative leadership, and steadfast commitment to the overall improvement of higher education. His diverse expertise and unwavering dedication make his esteem in the academic community. Once again, I welcome you, sir. Now I hand over the section to sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So thank you for the nice introduction. Respected Principal, Dr. Ian Puma, Mrs. K. Nimita, the convener of the Faculty Development Program, and all the distinguished members of the organizing committee, Dr. Ponarasi, Mr. Martin Prasad, Mr. Bhuvanesh, and a special word of welcome and wishes to Professor Dr. Srikanth, the principal of Margaret College, and all respected faculty members. Good evening to all. I am so happy and it is my privilege to be with you through online mode during wonderful initiative of the college, Whitney College of Arts and Science, particularly in Department of Bank Management. Usually, this kind of FDP is done by the IQAC, but it comes from the department initiative. It's really a innovative intervention. So I place on record my appreciation to everyone, those who are behind this FDP. So you have chosen very nice topics for deliberations. I was with you yesterday for some time. So it was wonderful intervention to listen to speakers, and definitely this kind of initiatives will broad base our exposure as well. So as you rightly pointed out and also selected topic, and today I am going to deliberate with you enhancing knowledge on program outcomes and course outcomes. Now this is very much happening almost in all affiliated colleges and also autonomous institutions, because it is a mandatory requirement now. So having said this, let me get into the kind of the insights that I have. Learning outcome based curriculum framework. So that's the thing that we are contemplating today as a kind of a requirement. So let me start with what is a curriculum. So generally, we have an understanding that curriculum is always reduced to the syllabus. If it is affiliated college, what is given by university? If it is autonomous, we create our own, and that gives a kind of a course content, and with which we teach and we do assessment, and finally we evaluate. We think that is the whole thing about curriculum. But actually, when we say curriculum all about, it starts from the kind of a planning and how do we implement in our day-to-day interventions in the classroom, and more importantly, what is the student's experience, and finally it goes into the assessment and evaluation and the takeaways. So we have to look at the whole thing as a kind of a package. It is not only the course content constitutes the curriculum. So a little bit of a background about this outcome-based education. It's all started in 2014. So when India became a permanent signatory member of the Washington Accord, decided to implement the OBE in higher technical education first. The later NAC and also the NBA, they insisted this to be promoted across all the higher education institutions. So that's how it came into force. So initially it was for professional programs, but later it has become a kind of a matter for everyone, who were involved in higher education, whether it is a professional institution offering engineering, medical, and so on and so forth, or it's arts and science college, So NAC made very clear a kind of thing. That is, if you say you are in educational process, particularly in higher education, now we have to define ourselves clearly in this way. So describe the institutional initiatives to transform its curriculum towards outcome-based education. And we have to explain the efforts made by institution to capture the outcome-based education in teaching and learning practices. And it mandates describe any good practices of the institution pertaining to outcome-based education in view of NAP 2020. So it becomes a mandate now. So that is why if you look at even now with these QLM, QNM will be slightly modified very soon. I think a revised framework will be implemented from coming June or end of May, something like that. But this is what happening as of now. If you look at our framework of accreditation, 2.6.1, the weightage with the 30 points of score, that clearly asks a write-up on how this OBE and identification of graduate attributes, how it is integrated in our curriculum, assessment, evaluation to be explained, and also how the attainment also calculated to be explained. Similarly, if you take another parameter 6.5.2, again qualitative learning metrics, if you take, there also what are the methodologies we adopt in order to ensure that the OBE is implemented and how IQAC really follows it up. And if you look at NRF, so it is not only mandated by NAC. Even if you take the so-called ranking in place now across the country, National Institutional Ranking Framework, there the predominant importance given for graduation outcome. So there is a link. Now, if OBE is implemented, that takes care of the graduation outcome. How many admitted and how many are successfully completing within minimum period? If it is a UG, 3 years. If it is a PG, just taking 2 years. Like that, within minimum period, how many are completing? So that's a one outcome, successful outcome, graduation outcome. And once they successfully complete their program, how many are placed? So that's another outcome, because that speaks in volume about the skills they have developed and the kind of various capacities and capabilities they have developed during their stay in a particular institution and also during the course of time of their post study. And how many gone for higher education? That's another outcome. And how many have become entrepreneurs? So these are the outcomes generally expected. And that's what exactly we mean as a outcome-based education. And if our curriculum provides possibility of all these things, then we can easily say, or we can confidently could say, that is, we have outcome-based education curriculum. So it is very clear. It's a kind of a framework which give the clarity to students as well as all who involved in the process about what will happen to them at the end of the course. Okay, so what type of content I will have, how the methodology will be, how the assessment will take place, and what will be the evaluation. So by which, by the time I finish the course, where I'll be placed. So that is made very clear in advance. So that's a point. First thing that we could make out like this. Then it has these principles. The focus is very clear. Then the process is a designing down. Institution has a vision, mission, then set of educational objectives. Then it is a trickle down to the next level of program outcomes for across the board of various programs in the College of UG, PG, and doctoral programs. Then again, it is made more specific to program specific outcomes of, say, UG Commerce, PG Commerce, UG Computer Science, like that. Then it is further reduced to various courses that you have as a package of curriculum, and for each of the course, what are the outcomes that now you are assuring if the person, the student, completes successfully particular course. So it's a designing down process, and at every stage there is a expectation created. Now, as a course teacher, if I teach a corporate accounting, I am responsible for outcomes on every end of my hour of intervention. It is not at the end of the course or semester a kind of a results alone. No, every day when I go into the classroom and engaging student for 1 hour, at the end of this 1 hour, if I could create some outcomes which I spelled out in the course outcome, then OB is happening. And the culmination of every hour of outcome, that ensures the outcome of the course, likewise the whole program, and that leads to achievement of the specific outcomes and broad-based program outcomes, and which ensures the relevance of the vision mission statement and accomplishment of vision mission statement of the institution. So very high expectation. It is not just framing and for the sake of all kinds of requirements of accreditation and ranking, documenting. Rather, this has to what happen in reality in our classroom on day-to-day basis, on daily basis, in a continuous basis. Only then there is a possibility to say, yes, this framework here really works. And it expands the opportunities also. So having experimented this, it gives me a lot of possibility how I can scale up and how I can modify, how I can adopt a new methodology, how I can unlearn, relearn and newly learn certain things at all levels, so that I can ensure that this ongoing object is always made possible. So, having said this, this is very a simple concept. After all, when we admit our own words for any degree program, or as a teacher, course teacher, from our students, generally what we expect. These are the 3 things that we expect. One is that they should gain disciplinary knowledge, very specific knowledge, and also specific skills in a particular domain. Then general skills like communication, working with the people, team skills, and people skills. So various generic skills also that we want our students to pick up, hone their skills and develop new skills by doing the program in the campus. And of course, their attitude and the value system. That's very important. So, we are contemplating on the development, not only the cognitive, just something on your the skills, and also what our perspectives and attitude and values. So the development should take place on. So these are the outcomes actually, and these outcomes only is defined in a particular way as the methodology, as a structure is given, and that we are trying to fulfill in our daily basis. So this is what the thing that we have to understand. So just I mentioned earlier, very soon there will be some change in the whole process of assessment. So it is now well thought of in 2022, and slowly it is gaining its momentum to implement all this in our higher education process to get institution accredited. And the whole the process is based on not only the just outcomes, how these outcomes are linked with sustainable development goals. So that we have another 6 or 5 years or more to realize the deadline 2030 to realize all the sustainable development goals. So that's a kind of a development happening now. So you see, in a broad base, if you take the famous statement or the quote of Mr. Murthy, is it visible? One second. Is there any disturbance in my PowerPoint presentation?
No, sir. Nothing is. It's clear,
Okay,
sir.
fine. Yeah, just one second. Yes. Okay. So the society is not something that exists apart from us, and we have created it. So, so that means the broad-based outcome is this one. Now, today, whatever is happening in the society, now we are all responsible. And if these outcomes are really happening, then the wonderful and highly value-oriented, humanistic society we could very well create. So that's the whole process, I believe. So you can see, I'm from Loyola College run by Jesuit education. So you can see, that kind of what the focus of Jesuit education to form credible, innovative, and socially committed citizens. So the outcomes are very clear. So what I'm focusing to help the students evolve into competent, committed, creative, and compassionate men and women for and with others. So this is the core. That's the core of Jesuit education, and so this is what the whole vision statement of Loyola, and that gives the whole a kind of a guidance how as a Loyola we can think of our objectives, our program objectives, specific objectives. So likewise, each and every institution. I saw your website. Well thought of. Vision statement, mission statement is available. So likewise, we have to contemplate and we have to make it is happen at all levels. And I reiterate once again, all levels means it is happening in our classroom on daily basis. So that's the point. So it is not just a framework that is available and we can claim that yes, we are also part of OBE. No. It is in my hand of all the stakeholders of the institution to see to it this outcome is achieved. So, what is the core questions under the new assessment framework is going to come very soon? What is the brief for the educational program? If you say there's a program that you are offering in your campus, to tell what is in it. And what is expected at the end of the completion. We have to spell out very clearly. Within that brief, how valuable, how relevant are the learning outcomes. So whatever the information I'm going to give, whatever understanding my students are going to develop, the skills, the abilities, the kind of values, are they really relevant to this reality, to the current reality? And how effective and efficient are the means that the program employ to achieve the aims in your program outcomes. So we have to be very clear with this 3 important questions. The whole process of accreditation is going to happen by taking into account these brief for the accreditation process. So that's what the NEP requires. That's what the new National Board of Accreditation also suggests, and we are going to have a National Accreditation Council soon under the NAP 2020, and they will insist these processes. And I give the comparison between what is the accreditation process right now, what's happening, and how it is going to be in future based on outcome-based criteria. So the outcome-based criteria will be a real-time data, not what happened in the past. We are going to submit, and it is more on our stakeholders' satisfaction. Then function-based outcomes and learning outcomes. These are the focus going to be. And I'm not going to do all this, but just I give you a kind of idea how the parameters are going to be altered. You can see from the slide, and each one will have a link with outcome. So I'm trying to establish what is the scenario and why, and also the importance of it. Then I invariably reiterated a point that it is in the hands of all stakeholders, more particularly professors, and it should happen on a daily basis. When I say daily basis, these outcomes in our mind, when I step in into my class, and at the end of the hour, I should ensure the outcome happen in my class of that particular hour. If that happens, the culmination of all this, we can say as an institution, we are able to achieve these outcomes. So having given a very broad perspective of this, let me get into the details. So the program outcomes as defined by NBA, National Board of Accreditation. If you look at, you can see, they listed out some 12 well-defined program outcomes any higher education institution could contemplate. You can see here the slide. I hope you're watching it. You can read it. Similarly, if you take a program-specific outcomes, so this is a very broad-based outcome statements for the entire program of UG, PG, doctoral, something like that. Whereas when it comes very specific to a particular domain, this is taken from their website, which is more into engineering, specific program of electronics and communication engineering, where you can see very specific related to the domain knowledge they spelled out. Similarly, the program educational objectives of how we could develop by focusing on these outcomes. The model is available from NBA. So just I've given for your understanding. And all this content with graduate attributes. So when I say graduate attributes, it is listed like this. If someone is earning his or her degree, then it should manifest in form of certain attributes in that. The knowledge, communication skill, critical thinking, problem solving. They're able to diagnose a situation, analyze a situation. They're able to reason out. They're able to apply and conduct research, work as a team, cooperate with a fellow being. So all these are attributes, reflective thinking. And today, we are in AI context. So obviously digital literacy, and we cannot no longer claim it's only a digital literacy, rather even AI literacy is required now. And self-directed learning, they should have a thirst for learning further and furthermore and furthermore. Multicultural competence, working with in any situation, in any environment with anyone, with the dignity and respect for each other, mutual respect, moral values, ethical awareness, leadership readiness. It's very, very important in today's context. So all these are attributes. When I say attributes, identifiable or something you can comprehend from our own graduates. Yes, they are going with these attributes out of the campus. And with all this package, they can find their career, they can settle down, and they can start contributing, through which as I stated, now we can create the beautiful, humanistic, value-oriented society. So if you take a NAC manual, you can see, the program outcomes, for a UG level. So very clearly it is, given here. You can see effective communication, social interaction, effective citizenship, international perspective, ethics, environment and sustainability, self-directed and lifelong learning. So how to write? I go slowly into the next aspect. So the statement of what content or the student is expected to be able to do at the end of learning experience should be thought of. And the level of understanding and performance in those areas should be marked as a benchmark. And we must have program outcomes, program specific outcomes, and course outcomes. And here, as a kind of a tool, now Bloom's taxonomy comes. So we have 6 levels: remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. The remember, understand, apply is a lower order. Analyze, evaluate, and create is a higher order learning outcomes. So we have to contemplate. Our course outcomes should have a possibility for all this. Then obviously that leads to the stated outcomes of specific outcomes of a program, linked with the program outcomes, linked with mission statement of the institution. So this framework is a wonderful framework, how the cognitive developments, skill developments, and attitude developments can take place by following these taxonomy. So these are the guiding action verbs are available for our help, how we can develop course outcome statements and various outcome statements. So remember, cognitive level 1, K1, we are focusing on identifying things, retrieving it. Understand, K2 level, we are focusing on interpreting, defining it, comparing, explaining, something like that. Then we say apply, when we say they should be able to execute, implement. And when we say analyze, they are able to identify the differences, organize, and classify based on the attributes. And when we say the next level of evaluate, then they are able to check and provide a kind of a judgment. And finally, they can create something on their own in terms of their responses. In terms of what maybe solutions to the identified matters of concern, and how they generate certain outcomes through their interventions. These are called create. And so this is what the knowledge dimension. So these are the frameworks very easily available now. And what are the lower order thinking outcomes, higher order thinking outcomes, and various action verbs that we can make use of to develop what the outcome statements. So we must get, first of all, a familiarity over all this, so that we are able to develop outcome statements by linking cognitive levels. And when these cognitive levels are realized in our classrooms and they are assessed and also assured of as attributes, then we are fulfilling the whole process of outcome-based education. So the guideline is Now all the guidelines are very simple. You can see here. Now, action verb must be found, and it should be content with the subject content, and you must be very clear if it is a major core at what level of concrete development you are contemplating, if it is a allied required, what level, if it is allied optional, what level, if it is a foundation program, what is the level, that must be very clear, and how I'm going to execute and make things happen. So this that we have to be very clear with. So what are the quality of course outcomes? So these questions, if you are able to answer it, fine. So definitely we can say the outcome statements are something very robust, relevant, meaningful, logical, and also achievable. So it has to be very smart. Now, when I say very specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. I'm able to achieve it. For example, if I teach a course on, say, social entrepreneurship, then say 60 hours if I spend. So within this 60 hours, now I'm able to make things realized in terms of outcomes. So time bound. Now I'm making it, whatever the attributes, whatever the skills, whatever the knowledge to happen, I'm defining it well within the time frame. Then I can say the whole development of outcome statements, methodology to implement, assess, evaluate, are all well aligned. Then the quality is formed in the whole process. So I have shared with you what is the quality and also important attributes of these outcome statements. Now I am moving into mapping. So I developed course outcomes. I developed program specific outcomes for the Department of Commerce. I have developed program outcomes of the UG programs of the institution. Then, of course, the college, the institution has a vision and mission statement. Now, how I'm going to link all this. That's called mapping. So there are different approaches available. Now, one of the approaches is with the help of keywords. Now, say in all the models of what I presented, whether it is a NBA or suggested by NAC, keywords were found. Then the content is developed. The course outcome statement is developed. Program statements, outcome statement is developed. Program specific outcome statement is developed. So I can easily see the keywords. Then based on that, I can map it. Now I'll show the so based on the keywords, if the statement is more correlated, then I say the value is the level is 3. If there is some medium correlation is found, then I can say it is a level 2. Suppose I don't see, I'm talking about the sustainability, but that's the outcome I'm contemplating. Whereas my course content, there is no connect direct with the sustainability with the keyword, then I would say that particular mapping will become very low, either 1, or suppose if no possibility, I can put 0. There is another way of mapping it. How much time I will spend on these particular outcomes. In a particular the course, total how many hours available, and out of which how many hours I will spend on course outcome 1, course outcome 2, course outcome 3, course outcome 4, course outcome 5. And based on the number of hours, if more hours spent on a particular outcome, then I would put 3. If less hour is spent on a particular thing, 2. Or if a little time is spent on a particular outcome, then I'll put 1. This is another possibility of mapping. But in general, most of the institutions adopt the first one. That's the easiest one, because from the key words itself that we can identify the link between course outcomes, specific outcomes, program outcomes, and other vision and mission statement. There is another model available. Now here, something about what type of assessment tools I will apply to assess whether these outcomes really happen in my course or not. Then, based on that, now I would say, for example, say most of the assessment focusing on the lower order level of cognitive development, then only those outcomes I give 3. Suppose I'm focusing on the higher order levels slightly less, then I put a medium. So like that. No, so what is the focus? What type of assessment I conduct? Then more the assessment focusing on a particular outcome, I would put what? This one, no? A kind of the linking or mapping statements. Okay. You take our model. So this is our mission statement. These are our mission statements. We have identified with the keywords. You can see keywords with which we have framed program educational objectives, very specifically focusing on all this knowledge, core competency development, professional skill development, social skill ethics, environment and sustainability, lifelong learning. Then we mapped these educational objectives with vision and mission statement. By carefully reading each of these statements and by vision mission statement, how the keywords are associated with each of the mission statement and vision statement have given the value. When I found the first objective is very close correlated with vision statement, I have given 3. The PEO statement of 1, closely associated with the mission statement of 1, I have given 3. Suppose there is a slight less correlation I found, I put 2. So this we have given a value. Having given the value, total number of cells you just count. So here there are 1, 2, 3, so 5 into 6, 30. Out of 30 cells, how many cells have value of 3? I count, I convert as a percentage. So the kind of the end result, the mapping is my outcome statements are highly correlated 70% and moderately correlated 30%. So this have we have arrived at. Similarly, the program outcomes for our entire program of UG separately, this is a UG, PG separately we have created, and also doctoral outcomes separately available. So here also we have put very clearly the key words: disciplinary knowledge, professional skills, entrepreneurship is our focus, competency development, self-directed and lifelong learning, environment and sustainability, social skills and ethics. And in all these, when you read it carefully, you will understand we have connected the keywords with vision mission statement and also program educational objective statements. So we are able to see the kind of a connectedness, and more they are connected, then I give what? High correlation 3, moderate means 2, and low means 1. So this have the mapping is done. Here you can see the PO2, PEO, we have mapped like this. Same way, program specific outcomes. As a department of commerce, BCom, so these are the specific outcomes we have. Understand the various concepts related to the discipline of commerce, develop broad-based business skills, positive attitude and knowledge to meet the expectation of the business, industry, and economy at the national and global level. Demonstrate the capacity to apply statutory regulations that govern businesses, identify business opportunities to create and manage innovations and entrepreneurship, adapt to rapidly changing environment, pursue a professional career, furthering higher education, and become socially responsible citizens. You can see all the keywords, action verbs are there: understand, develop, demonstrate, identify, adapt, pursue, become. So all these are connected with Bloom's taxonomy also. Then you can see all this connected with program educational objectives and program outcomes. So you can see the connect, because I am constantly, as a kind of as I'm evolving the statements, applied and ensured all these keywords are attached, at all levels. Because of those keywords are found in all levels, I'm able to see the correlation. So I'm just assigning highly correlated, then 3, moderately means 2, low means 1. Then I count how many 3s are there, convert as a percentage. So yes, I can see our BCom course specific outcomes correlated with program educational objectives, highly 69% and moderately 31%. So similarly, PSO to PO, we have done it. Now I come to the final level, course outcome. So UG, we have some 30 courses. For each of the course, we have course outcomes. Then you can see each course outcome statement focusing on a cognitive development. If I say CO1, K1 and K2, remember and understand is focused. CO2, then apply is focused. CO3, now say analyze is focused. CO4 is evaluate is focused. And CO5 is something of what create is focused. Okay. I think someone is amending the changes.
Sir, I'll see to that, sir. Sorry,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah,
I'll see.
fine. It's
Thank
okay,
you, sir.
fine. Absolutely, it's okay. But if you're able to follow it, it's okay. Still, how much time left out, ma'am? Can I go for another before taking the questions?
Yes, sir. You can take your time. Our time is now 7:50. Maybe another 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, okay,
Is it
fine.
enough, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I will definitely able to consolidate another 10 to 15
Okay,
minutes. Sure, yeah. So if you read it now, because of this, you're not able to see. I don't know how to. 1 second, I'll see. I need to clear it. Yes. Yes. Not here. Yeah, fine. I hope now it's clear. Is it? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry about
It's okay. No, absolutely.
some of the participant, I think.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's part of the game. Yeah. So you see, social entrepreneurship paper. Now we have developed course outcomes like this. Understand the social entrepreneurship process, framework, and social activism. CO2 is examine the concepts underpinning the social entrepreneurship to gain a comprehensive understanding of the opportunities. You see the keywords. So that's what I'm asking you to understand now. And you see the connect between the Bloom's taxonomy. Then the various keywords are very consciously developed at all levels. Examine, the concept. Third, identify and analyze, comprehend the concept of social innovation, and critically assess and create. You can see all levels. So in our program, what we done, because of this, I'm not able to navigate.
Sir?
Yeah. So you see the second slide? Okay. So now you see here what we have done. Our CO1 focusing on K1, K2, CO2 is focusing on K3 cognitive level. K1 is remember, K2 is understand, K3 is to apply, K4 is to analyze, K5 is to evaluate, K6 to create. So we have developed in such a way, if I am focusing up to K2, K1, K2 is taken care. If I am focusing up to K3, K1 to K3 is focused. If I say focused on K4, K1 to K4 is a focus. So if I'm able to achieve all the cognitive levels, the culmination of all these realizes what? The various course outcomes. So that's what we have developed. Now attainment of K1, K2 in all the units of the course achieves the CO1 of the outcome. Attainment of K3 in all the units of the syllabus attains the CO2. So why this arrangement is required? Only then when we set the question paper, we can have a spread, equal distribution of, question setting. So that's a reason why this balancing also to be. So having done that, now I read carefully each of the course outcome statement. Then I read the specific outcome statement. With the help of the keywords, I assess whether it is highly correlated, moderately correlated, and low correlated. Then accordingly assign the values. Then count the number of cells. How many threes? Convert as a percentage. That's what it is done. Same way, the course outcome to program outcomes. Course outcome to program educational objectives. Okay, see, it goes like that. So, I have done my level best to comprehend how the whole process to be done with regard to what development, and also what are the principles that we have to keep in mind, and how mapping to be done. But my point is, yes, there are models available. Easily we can pick up, and we can form a team, and by which we can easily frame these framework. But what is more important is how that we are going to implement. So that is more important. And how, having implemented, how I'm going to assess the attainment of these outcomes, and also how I'm going to evaluate my students to final grading, so that at the end of the day, confidently my students, one of the stakeholders, and all the stakeholders would be able to say, yes, we are able to find these outcomes in our plots. If that is happening, the whole framework is definitely will be successful one. And that is in the hands of primarily post teacher. So that's why I said this should happen on daily basis in the classroom. Suppose if I say I'm going to teach the model of social activism, then I should go with what are the cognitive levels at the end of the day my students should develop. And towards the end of my lecturing, by asking few questions, if you are able to assess whether that development really happened or not, these kind of assurance will make the whole process of OBE is fulfilled. Thank you for the opportunity. I hope I made some useful input to all the audience. I am so happy and glad to take up some questions if at all if you have. Thank you. Over to the organizing team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your explanation in a very simple language so that everybody can understand. One of our participants have asked, like, Bloom's taxonomy has been adopted by many countries, education system, even before 20 years. My question is, why universities like Madras University in India has not adopted this taxonomy still now?
So two answers. One is, yes, it has been practiced for a long years, or it happened in 50s even. Actually, they started with the schools. Then later it is implemented, now focusing on cognitive levels. So if you have done B.Ed, M.Ed, you must have learned it. And this is in practice for long years. Madras University already adopted. LOCF model is adopted, and they are giving guidelines to all the affiliated colleges also with a kind of a framework of OBE. And now, if you take the syllabus and also the outcomes, invariably these cognitive levels are embedded. Now, you might have not seen as well defined as what remember, understand like that, but the cognitive levels are taken into account in construction of the so-called outcome statements. So it is already happened. No, and I am part of academic council. I know our deliberations and also what has been approved in the recent past, where the focus is very clear, outcome-based kind of statements, and that's how it is being suggested to all affiliated institutions.
Thank you, sir. But we have received with the outcomes this time. This year, we have received with the program outcomes and the course outcomes from the university. But my question is, like, as you said, we have to frame as an affiliated college, even we can frame our own, according to our vision and mission, we can frame our outcomes, and can we create our own program outcomes, sir, and course outcomes?
Absolutely. I think, yeah, fine. Say, yes, that's what we are expected to do.
Okay.
Say, obviously, university cannot give the vision statement, all this to the all institutions. So we have developed, we know what is our focus. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
So we have taken the syllabus only from the Madras University.
Okay, okay.
And you see how the course outcomes and also thing connected with your primary goals and do the mapping. So
Yeah,
because see, attainment calculation is with reference to a particular institution.
Okay, okay, sir.
It's a homegrown grown process, and also attainment to be calculated that way. Whereas for a university, they focus only on what? The courses, the course outcomes. So it is in our hand. See, as a college, or which college, you develop your educational objectives, okay, and you spell out your program outcome and specific outcomes, and see how these course outcomes can be integrated with it. So at the end of the day, you calculate your attainment calculation and say that, yes, as an institution, we achieved this.
We achieved, okay. Yeah,
So that's what would be possible. And also, University Madras would say, as they developed course content, how certain attributes will happen to whoever reads or takes up these courses with this content. It goes like that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sahai Nixon was also asked one more question. Is there any changes in CO and PO mapping for quantitative subjects?
Quantitative?
Subject.
Yes, see, obviously, whether it is a theory paper or lab paper or absolutely a quantity paper, we are contemplating all the 5 cognitive levels. See, for example, say SPSS is one of the papers I'm offering. Absolutely on a lab mode. They need to understand first the various functionalities, and they should remember it. They should apply it. They should appropriately pick up the tools for implement, check whether the hypothesis is right or not. So all the cognitive levels I'm contemplating. So whether it's a theory paper or lab paper or quantity paper, yes. But how we are going to frame? That's a kind of our ability, and see to it that achieves what? All the outcomes of the particular paper. So it is possible for any types of paper.
Sir, I have seen it because I have tried to, when we try to prepare a question paper with this course outcome, mapping the course outcome into a quantitative subject, we find it somewhat difficult.
Say, for example, say you take accounting papers, creative level. Say, generally, we have an opinion that something creatively to be done, that is called creative. It's not like that.
Okay.
If they learned to create even the statement of income or a balance sheet with a defined process, by remembering it and having all the attributes supposed to be, then obviously it is a kind of a question for a K6 level.
Okay.
Or in a management accounting, I give a certain ideal ratios. Based on that, I'm asking my students to create a ideal balance sheet for a particular company. It's a K6 level question. But at autonomous college level or university level, we stuck with the stereotype questions.
That's true. That's true, sir.
So that is why these questions linger our mind, and we keep on contemplating on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The moment you are able to break this stereotyping, then obviously we can make all this could happen, obviously. Yes.
And sir, CO and PO mapping for arts and engineering colleges, is there any difference? Question from Sandhya. Is there any difference in CO and PO mapping for arts and science colleges and engineering?
Yeah, that's what I see. There are different models available. I have just presented 3 models based on the keywords, based on the hours spent, then based on the assessment tools. So likewise, engineering colleges, professional programs like MBA institutions and all, they can have their own model to identify and prove the relevance of mapping. So there are many models available, and you can all you have to prove your scientific logical arrangements. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Is there any questions? I think so. The questions are all over. Shall we go for the vote of thanks, sir?
One more question from Dr. Ponnarasi. I think she's.
Yeah, professional development programs will be taken for college improvement.
Professional development programs will be taken for
College improvement.
college improvement. So professional development, what do you mean? A program of this kind?
Yeah.
Faculty development programs
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I think
obviously,
so, sir.
obviously. See, actually, that's what I told you. Curriculum includes all these processes. It is not only the curriculum. Whatever is happening inside the campus for all the students, part of the curriculum. Suppose if I conduct, say, today Women's Day celebration, so I offer all the women's here my best wishes and
Thank you, sir.
Suppose you organize a program today in your college, a Women's Day, it should be linked with the program outcomes and specific outcomes.
Okay.
Because that instills certain value in the minds of our students, how they should respect the gender without any discrimination. And obviously that provides the value. The value is one of the outcomes. And that outcomes already I have a keyword in course, in objectives, in program outcomes. So whatever is happening should lead to achievement of the overall outcome. So that way, professional development programs obviously contributes improvement of the institutions.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. With that, we'll come to the end of the program. And I want to give a thanks to all the participants, faculties, and our esteemed guests. Right? I feel an immense pleasure and profound sense of appreciation as we conclude this 5-day faculty development program. The success of this event is a collective effort, and I extend my heartfelt thanks to all those who have contributed to this triumph. First and foremost, I want to thank my sincere gratitude to our Secretary, Sir, Mr. AVM K. Shanmugam, for his support and commitment to academic enrichment. Actually, his vision has provided us a platform like this to conduct all these kinds of programs, which give contemporary challenges and opportunities in higher education. And a special thanks to our respected principal, Dr. N. Bhuma ma'am, whose guidance and encouragement have been instrumental in shaping the success of this program. Ma'am, your leadership has been an inspiration to all of us and fostering an environment of continuous learning and development. Our sincere thanks goes to all the esteemed guest speakers who graced us with their insight, wisdoms, and experience. Each presentation added a layer of richness to our understanding, making this FDP a comprehensive and enlightening experience. A special acknowledgement is reserved for our speaker of the day, Mr. Dr. Xavier Mahimai. Sir, your session was insightful and thought-provoking and a fitting conclusion to our FDP. We are truly honored to have you as a part of this program, sir. Our sincere thanks to Dr. Agastyan Arul Prasad, sir, who guided us and supported us throughout the conduct of this FDP. To the participant, thank you for your active engagement, enthusiasm, and eagerness to learn. We all know that we are busy with completing the portions and preparing for the semester exams. But in spite of all these things, many faculties have registered for this program across India. We are also overwhelmed by the response which we got from the faculties. Your presence have added vibrancy to the discussions, and we hope that knowledge gained will contribute to your growth as educators. A big shout out to Ms. Abhinaya, HOD, and Mr. Prakash, Assistant Professor of Visual Communication Department of the college, to the technical support and behind the scenes efforts in ensuring smooth logistics and seamless execution of this FTP. A special thanks to them for spending their valuable time with us. Time for us. And also we want to appreciate Mr. Jabastin, our technical assistants, for his support. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed college faculties for their unwavering support in facilitating the success of conduct of the FDP. And kudos to my team of faculties who have worked tirelessly for the success of the FDP. And last but not least, my heartfelt gratitude to the Almighty for the blessing us with the wisdom and energy to organize and participate in this FDP. We are humbled by the opportunity to contribute the advancement of education. Once again, I thank everyone of you who has been a part of this incredible journey towards the excellence in higher education. Lastly, our college, I want to mention one more thing. Our college is organizing an intercollegiate competition on March 27, 2024. And we look forward to your support and kindly encourage your students to participate in the event. And thank you. Our intercollege event is in Croatia 24, and it is going to happen on 24th March 2024. And it is a request to all the faculty members, please encourage your students to participate in our intercollege competition. Thank you. Thank you for all.
Thank you to Principal Ma'am, and also the convener and all the team for the wonderful opportunity. And congratulations and kudos to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the valuable inputs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Martin, sir.
Thank you, Nixon, sir, from Margaret College, HOD.
Thank you, Shrikant, sir. Augustine,
you,
sir,
madam.
Thank you,
again, sir.
thank you, Srikant, sir. I think sir is available, ma'am. Augustine sir also been available here.
Thank you, ma'am. It was
Yeah,
nice
thank
teamwork.
you, sir.
Congratulations to the team.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hope looking forward for many such programs in the next academic year, ma'am.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Srikant, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.